Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again, bringing you the fourth section to Chapter 5 in my Castlevania Night Difficulty video walkthrough. And this level is the Abbey Library. And as soon as it kicks off, you run through there and you're going to be introduced to a new enemy. And that is this big armoured dude. And he's a shield of armour with like a spirit inside that animates and then attacks you. And they're very slow. They're kind of like the Iron Knuckles from the Zelda series. And the best thing to do with these guys is to keep attacking them, keep dodging as they start to pivot and turn towards you, so you can always have a good line of sight to hit them. And if the shield starts to glow, you can press throw and remove it from him, so he can't block any of your attacks, because he will block your attacks if you let him. They're also very damaging, and they do a ground attack. That's the one, which is unblockable. You have to jump because it's got a radius effect to it. And bear in mind, during this fight there is two of them, so if you get unlucky you'll be fighting them both at the same time. If you do what I did, where you stay to the top of the screen, for the majority of the time the bottom knight won't follow you and you can just focus on his buddy and then clean up the other one, because when it's one-on-one with these guys they are ridiculously easy and simple. And this strategy will translate onto any difficulty because the enemy behaviours are the same, the damage characteristics are just different. What I like to do when he hits the floor that you've just seen just then is when I jump into the air I generally spam X and hit him with my whip a little bit. When I get bored of that and I want to land, I hold X and I do the guillotine move, so I slam down quickly. And once you've done that here comes a lovely puzzle section, which is I suppose an interesting change from what we've been doing, i.e. walking corridor to corridor and killing dudes. The only problem with this specific one is it involves using these mirrors to control a beam of light to open a bunch of doors. And the puzzle itself isn't too bad when you can remember how exactly it started. And my biggest problem with this is purely because I kinda forgot the order. I've not played it in a while, but I get there in the end, so do bear with. So it's best to just run around pushing and pulling the levers, smashing whatever you can smash, and you will eventually see the order, the sequence that you're supposed to shine the lights in. I just have one of those mind farts and it takes me a little bit longer than it perhaps should have done, because I had done it before, and the first time I did it significantly faster, which is both ironic and frustrating at the same time. But because this does involve, you know, running around here, finding these, pushing them so that you can do certain things with them, I'm not going to discuss it that much, because you can always use the hint system of this game where you can lose your reward for doing the puzzle and it will give you the solution, and this video will show you exactly where you're supposed to do it, just in a slightly longer iteration, unfortunately. But there is another one of the corpses, and that is an upgrade to the light magic, which I'm neglecting to use, so it's kind of pointless for me, but I pick up anything I see because it's just how I'm programmed, thanks to too many years of gaming. So here I go running around doing the puzzle and things. So I'll discuss a couple of things that's been happening as far as my channel goes and as far as what I'm working on in my channel, because if anybody follows me on Twitter, which I forgot the password to, so I can't be asked to reset it, so I can only access it on my laptop, and I'm on my actual tower quite a lot, so that's why I don't update Twitter as frequently as I probably should, because it is kind of funny being able to vent some shit on there very quickly and people seeing it, kind of thing. But I got a bunch of stuff from my rental service from Love Film, which I use. One of them is Enslaved, Journey to the West, or Odyssey to the West, wherever it's called. The other one is 007 Bloodstone, which is the newest of the James Bond games. It's made by Bizarre Creations, the same people that brought you, you know, the Gotham Project Race, you know, whatever it's called, Geometry Wars, and all that kind of stuff. And that game is pretty fun. It's pretty generic and it's got its problems, but it's one of those games that is obviously not a good game, but it's still fun because it does what it does perfectly fine, and it's pretty silly because, you know, some of the visuals aren't great and some of the design choices are a bit dumb, but it's perfectly adept at what it does, and I will be doing a guide on the 007 difficulty for that. I've actually started recording that guide. I'm about halfway through that game because it's very short and it's pretty simple, but it's another thing to buff my channel, so I don't mind doing it. And then So here, right now, I've realised that if you pivot that light to that opening, you can then push this forward and shine it on the door. It just took me ages because I couldn't quite remember how to do it, so that is what took so long. It shouldn't take that long for you, but it's what happens sometimes when you've not played a game in a while and you've played a few others, you do forget things. As I was saying though, I haven't quite touched Enslaved or anything on that game, which I should have done, but I just haven't had the time. And I also got Brink, and I'm definitely going to be doing something for Brink. I'm just not entirely sure what, because if you've not played that game is strange. The solo campaign on that game is quite possibly the most broken, the most frustrating, the most badly programmed, badly designed, badly realised, just plain old bad and poor, really poor, that out of everything I've played. And it's heartbreaking from somebody that's, you know, been watching Brink for so long and been really excited about it, because I thought it was going to be Borderlands in the aesthetic that it has. And don't get me wrong, the visual style and the highly stylized characters are really, really cool, but everything else is kind of fucking garbage. And the single player itself is basically a multiplayer, because it plays a hell of a lot like one, where it's so strange what they've decided to do with that game. It truly is. And I don't know if I can do like a solo hard difficulty guide, because it won't be a guide. It'll be you watching me lay on my ass because I've just been one-shotted again by AI that don't die and kill you super fucking quick, and all the medics on my team, which is like 4 or 5 of them, are running around like, you know, Down syndrome children, wondering where the hell they're supposed to be reviving when they're stood bang next to me, because the AI is fucking dumb. It's garbage. And as soon as you get back up, the spawns have flipped, or they've come from a different side. You run forward and you get downed again, and it's just this exercise in frustration and nothing else. It's awful. And they're like 20-minute levels as well, which can be done in 2 minutes with a good team. But when you're with the AI doesn't try until the last minute, and then on the last minute they actually attempt to get the objective. But the enemy AI seems to be trying all the time, so they'll just destroy you. It's I don't know, man. It's, regardless of your feelings, regardless of your bias, it isn't a good game. I'm finally beginning to enjoy it, because I've been playing it with a friend, and I'm going to be playing it with 3 other friends, which will probably be the guide. 4 of us taking it on hard, and hopefully having more success than I did on myself. But the only thing that the class system achieves through the way the game is designed is that even though you can change class every 10 minutes, every 20 seconds if you want to, which does kind of diminutize the value of the classes in the game, because everybody doesn't pick a selected one and just stick with it. The way that they've got round that is you die so quickly and you're on the floor so fast that you need somebody to be a medic. You need more than one medic, truth be told, because they're the only people that can get you up. And instead of, going up to somebody and pressing a button and having them get up, you throw them a syringe, so they have to then fucking hold a button for 5 seconds before they can get up, which is just needless and contrived. And then things like, you run out of ammo because all the guns have absolutely no ammo in them, especially the assault rifles. They're just ridiculously low ammo. And if you're a soldier, you can give people ammo, so it totally makes the soldier a valid character. It's, in fact, the role I really enjoyed to play. And then there's stuff like the engineer, where you can drop turrets and mines, which can be super useful for defending things, and they're the only people that can repair stuff. So the classes do work, they've just been badly implemented. And it's such a tragic game. That is the most disappointing game of the last 10 years for me, or something like that, because I would go and say it's more disappointing than Lost Planet 2, and I found Lost Planet 2 to be almost heartbreakingly tragic, because that game could have been so much greater than what it was. But I'll probably discuss that a lot more in the Brink guide when it comes, and I'm going to be getting up as quickly as I can, because that is a game that you could finish in maybe 4 hours. It is very short, especially if you've got a team that knows what they're doing and can do the objective, because you've got a 10-minute time limit. If you can do it in a minute, you'll still do it. It's just you did it faster than everybody else. It's that simple. But coming to the end of this video now, it's just a case of pushing these mirrors all the way around and then linking up the last light so that you can open that door. And I don't really like the puzzles on this game. The main reason for them is a lot of them seem to be dodgy. And when I say dodgy, I mean very luck based, like those slidey block puzzles and shit like that. It's the type of stuff that you kind of need to know, or you'll just not fucking know it, which is ridiculous. But that's the end of that level, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped. Thank you for taking the time, and you take care now.